and issue number 9. And as you tell, I got some of these for less than $1, which is always nice. Welcome to today's video, and welcome to my page. I am the Dollar Bin Diver. As my name suggests, I hunt for comic books in dollar bins, discount bins, and as you'll see today, I have a massive haul of comics from a local Peddlers Mall, primarily from a vendor I buy more from than any other, and that is Kirby's Comics. I'll pull up his graphic there and try to put his information into the details, so feel free to give that a look. Check him out on Facebook and check out his live videos. If you are in Kentucky, look him up, check out his Peddlers Malls. So first comic from that haul, I have What If the Avengers Lost the Evolutionary War. This is issue number 1 from that early 90s run of What If. Okay, I was also able to find in the earlier run of What If, this is What If Elektra Had Lived, plus What If Yellow Jacket Had Died. This is issue number 35 from that run. And then actually back into, I believe, the 90s run of What If. This is What If Steve Rogers Had Refused to Give Up Being Captain America, featuring Freedom Force. This is issue number 3 from that run. I am slowly collecting that completed run. Even though these aren't consecutive issues, I do still enjoy collecting the complete run. Some of these are some really neat stories. And moving on to something different, this is actually from Boom Studios. This is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, issue number 81, the Eltarian War. Was actually able to collect a good chunk of I believe it's Power Rangers and whatever the other run is right off, and from just a collection. And this was one of the few issues that was missing, so I did pay over $1, but I believe that's okay this time, especially considering how cheap I was able to get the collection of majority of that other run. Okay, moving on to something different. Back into Marvel though, here is World War Hulks, Captain America versus Wolverine. This is issue number 2 in that limited series. And then also have issue number 1, Spider-Man versus Thor. This is number 1 of 2 in that run. Let's see if we can angle and get a good shot there. Oh. But yeah, very nice covers there. I actually do not know anything about this story, but finding both issues in that run and those awesome covers, I had to give them a try, especially for that price. Okay, moving on to something else kind of newer. Here is Hulk by Donny Cates. This is issue number 7. This is part of the Banner of War Part 3. Actually do not collect Hulk very often, but I have found a good chunk of the run that Donny Cates has been working on, and I've been excited to see how this Banner of War event happens. And I have also been collecting a good chunk of the Thor run that Donny Cates started, as it does lead into that Banner of War event. This, as you can see, is after Donny Cates has stepped away from the run. I'm gonna mess up the name, but Gronbuck is the lead author now, as well as Klein. This is Thor, The Legacy of Thanos, Part 2, issue number 30 in that run. Have been enjoying this run of Thor so far. It's one of the few newer comic runs that I'm reading on, and it has been a good read. So let's keep it going though with some older Thor. This is issue number 477, The Mighty Thor. Will Thunder strike? Save Thor from the Furious Destroyer? This, as you can tell, is when Thunderstrike was a thing there in the 90s. I have actually been collecting some of that run as well of Thunderstrike and some of his appearances. I'm not sure that we'll ever see that interpretation in the MCU or anything, but it is a neat little subsect of story to read. Alright, continuing on though, here is Marvel Comics Presents Wolverine. This is issue number 89 in that run. I have a good chunk of this whole run collected. Have some gaps to fill. This was filling one, and then another gap around the 107. Here is Marvel Comics Presents Ghost Rider and Werewolf by Night. Oh, also in this issue, Red Wolf. As you may know, these came out twice a month and actually had 2 to 4 different stories going on at the same time. And if these weren't bagged and boarded so well, I would show the back and it would have a different cover, so you could actually grab it either way. And they are really neat little comics to collect. Okay, here we are, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the Avengers. This is issue number 5 from that 1996 run, and this one came out in 97. This is, of course, when Rob Liefeld came on and did about 12 issues. I believe this is technically volume number 2. I think this was one of the last 2 issues I needed to complete my run on that. Alright, back into the main run. Here is issue number 242. Okay, Avengers, the party's over. I have no idea what's going on, but it did fill a gap for me, and I do enjoy some of the artwork there from the 80s, and even though some of the stories are a little flat at times, they're great to collect for me. Alright, I'm actually going to adjust the camera. There we go, get a full shot of the comic. Okay, next up here is Marvel Super Action, starring the Avengers. The Swordsman Strikes. This is issue number 26 of that run. I believe this issue came out in 1980. Marvel Super Action, if you don't know, is a reprint run where it came out in the 70s and 80s and reprinted some of the early stories of Avengers. I need to get caught up on what issue numbers are covered with which ones in this run, but for me they are a nice, cheap, easier way to read some of those stories in print. I guess I could read them digitally, but it doesn't have the same magnitude, right? Alright, let me pull these off to the side and continue with the next part. Continuing on here, I have the first X-Men. It's a kind of an odd little run there. Not my normal, but this one is by Neil Adams. I do not recall when this run came out, but I have been able to find more of these here lately. And as you may see with many of the comics I get from these Peddlers Malls, they come with an extra comic. In this case, this is issue number 5 to go along with that issue number 4 that I had there. So that makes it even more enticing and makes it easier for me to complete that run and have a nice consecutive read. Okay, continuing on with the X-Men theme. Here is X-Men, issue number 19 from this run. I actually do not know as much about this run. That art style on the cover really enticed me, and the price, obviously. I figured I could grab it, give it a read, and see if it's worth collecting. But what really grabbed my attention on this was the issue on the back. This is X-Men, 10 of Swords, Destruction. This is part 22 of 22. I know this was a massive crossover event of 22 issues, and I'm slowly collecting that event. Even though I may not be collecting any of the other X-Men titles necessarily in those runs, I am collecting this event. I read the first, I believe, 2 issues, and I could not stop. I wanted to read more. Alright, continuing on, here is Daken Dark Wolverine. Wolverine Goes to Hell, issue number 1. I believe I already had this issue, but the fact I was able to get it for that cheap and get issue number 2, I figured why not. I don't know as much about this run, but it does seem really cool. I have issue 1, I believe I had issue number 2, and here's number 3, so enough that I may sit down and give it a good read here soon. Continuing on though, back to our 90s run of Wolverine, issue number 51, Cry of Madness. What is that? Crunch Conundrum, part 1 of 3. Very neat. I'm not sure if I have any others in that little event, but I was able to grab issue number 71, and as you may see, these were under $1 each, which is always nice. And then I believe this is issue number 87, again under $1. And while we're keeping with that cheap Wolverine theme, here is issue number 113 from 1997. Oh goodness. Relic of Doom. From 1997, Relic of Doom. What secrets inside this box hold the key for Wolvie's past and future? Alright, now this is definitely a reader copy, not bagged or boarded, and only for $0.25 basically. This is issue 138, so I figured why not grab it. Alright, now moving on to a newer run, Return of Wolverine. This is, I believe it's Charles Soule is the main author on this run. I have issue number 1, and now I have issue number 2. I may have issue number 3 already as well. I'm looking forward to inventorying those and perhaps giving those a good read and see if I want to continue collecting that collection. Alright, we have a little bit of Web of Spider-Man. I believe this is the newest run of Web of Spider-Man. As you may be able to see, that is issue number 4. And I got it for just over $1, so I could not pass it up. Alright, I guess this is my last X-Men issue, or perhaps not. Uncanny X-Men, Psylocke versus Sabretooth. Enough said. And on the back, this is actually the reason I got the comic, Matt Fraction's Fantastic Four. This is issue number 2. I actually was told some good things about this run, and I find these comics quite often, so I figured I would grab the first half a dozen or so, give them a good read, and see if they fit into the theme of comics that I enjoy. Most likely they will. Alright, here we have issue number 5.AU. I guess this is part of the Age of Ultron. It's a tie-in, I guess, but I figured I had to grab it still. Alright, here is Fantastic Four by Matt Fraction as well. This is issue number 8 and issue number 9. And as you tell, I got some of these for less than $1, which is always nice, along with I believe there was a small discount going on, small sale going on that day, so which is nice, always nice. Alright, kind of bouncing around a little bit. Here is issue number 5 of FF, which at first I did not realize was a different run, but it is a different run by Matt Fraction. I believe these were both going on about the same time, so I figured while I could find so many of these cheap, I went ahead and got them as well. Here's issue number 15, as well as issue number 16. And I got these all for $1 each or less. Okay, I'm going to pull these off to the side, and let's see what's left. I believe I am nearing the end, but here is Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings. This is issue number 5 from this run, The Origin Revealed. I do not collect as many newer comics, but of course the movie Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings caught my eye when I saw this on a comic, and of course I had to grab it. It is a part of the legacy. I believe it's issue number 143 there, so very nice. Alright, and I was also able to find issue number 6. I believe that gives me the first half dozen comics in this run, or close to it. And as we see on the cover there, the rings all busted and left behind. Creates for a neat little scene. Makes me intrigued about the story. Alright, let's finish off here with some Captain America, issue number 228, Captured by the Constrictor. And even though this is a reader copy, anytime I can fill in a gap of some older Captain America, I have to. Alright, and the last one for today, Captain America, issue 325. Stop it, Nomad, you're killing him. He's fat, he's foul, he's the slug. That's the idea, Cap. And I actually do enjoy, I have collected, I believe, the whole Nomad run from the early 90s as well. And it's an interesting character. I know with the MCU, they attempted to bring that character to life with Captain America with the Infinity War. But I do enjoy reading some on that character as well. Alright, before I go, I'm going to tell you about my bourbon of choice. Today, that will be the Woodford Reserve Double Oaked, 90.4 proof, and very nice sharp bottle there. Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskey, finished in a second oak barrel. Alright, let's go ahead and uncork and check it out. We'll try not to make too much of a mess. Let's do just a little sample today. Of course, gotta go with a double oaked from a double-sized haul today. Just doing a little sample today. And of course, double oaked, so we get some of the oaky, earthy notes to it. And I have at times gotten some sweeter, almost chocolate notes from this Woodford Reserve Double Oaked. Very nice. A little lighter. Well, no, it's a little darker there. I just don't have enough in there. We'll have to change that in a minute. Alright, well, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, check out my other videos. Drink responsibly, and enjoy your comics. Thank you.